Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode on the Sports Stories podcast. I'm your host, Tage McSwain, and now for today's episode, I'm going to be going over my NFL award predictions. Since it's halfway through the season, I thought I might as well go ahead and, go through who I think, is going to win all the awards coming up near the end of the season before the Super Bowl. Now, first up for the most prestigious award, the MVP, I'm going to give this one to Josh Allen. I mean, although Josh Allen is the obvious favorite in the situation, it's kind of up in the air, I guess. Mainly for me, the top three right now is Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, and Patrick Mahomes for the MVP. And Josh Allen's been consistently in the MVP race for the past few years, so I felt like it was only right to give it to him here. He's currently third in the league with passing yards, with 2,198 yards, behind Tom Brady and Joe Burrow. And then Josh Allen is also one touchdown behind Patrick Mahomes in passing touchdowns. So I mean, he's doing his thing. And really, the only reason why I won't give it to Jalen Hurts here is because I think, he still has a little bit more developing to do. And, I mean, the Eagles also I feel like Josh Allen is playing more of a role in why the Bills are so successful compared to Jalen Hurts. Even though Jalen Hurts and the Eagles are undefeated, I feel like Jalen Hurts, hasn't really done as much for the team as Josh Allen has. And then as for Patrick Mahomes, the argument is made there that the Bills did beat the Chiefs in Week 6, and that one kind of split my decision, and Josh Allen also really outperformed Patrick Mahomes in that one. So, in my opinion, I did have to give it to Josh Allen here. I think he's just overall the better player and a consensus MVP candidate, mainly because of how close he has been in previous seasons. It just felt right to give it to him here. And then for Defensive Player of the Year, I'm going to have to give it to Micah Parsons. Again, another favorite to win. And even though Cooper Rush, was getting most of the credit for stepping in for Dak Prescott, I mean, a lot of people have seen that the Cowboys defense is still the, was and still is the main catalyst as to why the Cowboys are really winning their games. I mean, their defense has been really good, and Micah Parsons is, one of the leaders of that defense, and he's really commanding, where everything's going. He's currently fourth in sacks with 8 behind Zadarius Smith, Matthew Judon, and Nick Bosa, who all have 8.5. And Parsons has also led the Cowboys to a top 5 defense, also leading the league in pressures currently. So, overall, Micah Parsons is playing a really big role into why the Cowboys defense is so good. So I did have to give it to him here. My other Defensive Player of the Year candidate would have been C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who I think should be the runner-up. It's a little bit of surprising, but he is leading the league in interceptions, and he is playing really well, unlike Trayvon Diggs last season, where a lot of people were crowning him the Defensive Player of the Year, with, him leading in interceptions, but he was allowing a lot of yards. But C.J. Gardner-Johnson is pretty locked down. He's getting the interceptions. Him as well as Darius Slay and James Bradbury at the Eagles defense has been doing really good as well. But I feel like Micah Parsons has played a bigger role into why the defense is so successful, and he's really that main player that is leading that defense to what it is currently. Now, for Comeback Player of the Year, I have Saquon Barkley. Now, Saquon Barkley, he's, again, another favorite candidate to win this one. Him being out the past couple seasons, I believe, 2 seasons ago, it was a torn ACL, and then last season, it was a Achilles injury, I want to say, that kept him out for all of the season again. So back-to-back seasons, he wasn't in full-time, and the Giants were really bad. But now that he's come back, he's sparked new life into this Giants team. Him and Brian DeBole have been a great combination here. And Barkley's just coming back to what he was, when he was fully healthy his rookie season. He's second in rushing yards this season with 779, behind Nick Chubb, who has 841. And if he keeps it up at this pace currently, he is on track to get 1,600 plus yards. Overall, he's just the best player that was up for the award. My second choice probably either would have been Geno Smith or Christian McCaffrey, mainly because Geno Smith, coming back. I guess coming back. I mean, he was never really gone for that while. He was just on the bench, and then now that he's a starting quarterback, he's doing really good. And then also Christian McCaffrey coming off another injury, kind of like Saquon Barkley coming off injuries, and now he's back, and now he's shipped to the 49ers. He just had a 3-touchdown game. That could have played a role in the recency bias, but as for this one, I just had to give it to Saquon Barkley. I mean, he just looked good from week one. I feel like he's getting better to when he was fully healthy before. So it just kind of seemed right to put him here at the comeback player of the year. Now for the Offensive Rookie of the Year, I'm going to have Dameon Pierce winning this award. Now this one was kind of hard because I feel like there's no rookies that have truly been outstanding, but really when I think of it, Dameon Pierce really just comes to mind. I mean, he's doing his thing with Houston, even though Houston's a terrible team. I feel like he's just going off. I mean, a lot of people talking about his play against the Eagles, and other other highlights that he's had where he's just bouncing off players. And he had a really strong preseason performance, and a lot of people didn't know if that would carry over. I did draft him in my fantasy, and I did end up trading him. But, I mean, I still got Nick Chubb, so I would rather have Nick Chubb over Dameon Pierce. But needless to say, I mean, Dameon Pierce is still a really great player, and he kept that going into the regular season, which was great. And he's currently leading all rookie running backs in rushing yards with 678, making him 4th in the league with rushing yards, which is also another big feat. Top 5 in rushing yards as a rookie is pretty good against, pair that with the Texans offensive line that isn't all that great either. And, I mean, this also includes his performance that he just had on, Monday? Yeah, Monday. No, Thursday. Thursday Night Football against the Eagles, where he ran for 139 yards on 27 carries, which I believe is his second or third game eclipsing 100 yards. So, I mean, he's doing his thing. He's really bringing attention to this Houston Texans team that isn't any good and doesn't really deserve all that much attention, but he's doing his thing. He's going off with the Texans. It's going to be exciting to see where his career really heads on. I mean, clearly the Texans aren't going to be any contenders soon, probably in the next few years, possibly. But I mean, Dameon Pierce is definitely doing his thing, and I had to give him the Offensive Rookie of the Year award here. Now, for Defensive Rookie of the Year, this one, again, was kind of hard, kind of like Offensive Rookie of the Year, since there's no rookies that have really been, captivating, taking over the league. I mean, last year we had Micah Parsons and Jamar Chase. I mean, those two guys were, they were showing impact really early on, and, throughout the season, they were kind of consensus picks for the awards. So this one was kind of hard for me because there really hasn't been an outstanding rookie. Unfortunately, I didn't put Aiden Hutchinson up for this award because, he's really been good with the Lions. I mean, he's had a couple 3+ sack games. I mean, he's doing his thing with the Lions. It's just, I don't think he would be Defensive Rookie of the Year. Trayvon Walker really hasn't been showing all that much as an edge rusher. I mean, he's there, he's on the field, he's making an impact, but just not Defensive Rookie of the Year level. Kind of the same with Derek Stingley, who I thought would have a pretty big role in Defensive Rookie of the Year. But I feel like the Texans just really aren't putting him in man, which he really thrives in, and they're putting him more in zone. I mean, he's still a pretty locked down corner, even in zone. He's still playing that really well. It's just that he's not playing to his expertise, which I feel that Lovie Smith should be doing for him. And then going, Kayvon Thibodeau. I mean, he's doing his thing with the Giants. I mean, he had that clutch strip sack on Lamar Jackson a few weeks ago. But yeah, just not Defensive Rookie of the Year level. But as for this one, I did have to give it to Devin Lloyd. I know that kind of seems interesting why Devin Lloyd, a late first-round pick that went to the Jags. And again, there's not a lot of attention on the Jaguars, but I mean, he's really doing good. I mean, he's a plug and play starter for the Jaguars. So far, he's had 2 interceptions in the 8 games that he's played in, and he is tied for second on the Jaguars with Rayshon Jenkins for having 33 tackles behind the sacks, or not sacks, but the tackle leader with the Jags, Foyesade Oluokun, with the 54 tackles. Now, his 33 tackles also places him top 10 in rookie tackles this season. Now, one thing that does work against Lloyd is his ability to sack the quarterback. He hasn't really been blitzing all that much. He is getting pressure, but he just isn't able to bring the quarterback down, and that could be, what kind of brings him down in what people believe. But, I mean, I still think he's really good. He's flourishing in the media. He's still getting put in, and he's doing really well. But it was kind of hard to pick out really a good rookie of the year. I'm sure that'll probably change near the end of, or like the second half of the season. We'll start to see who really is thriving as a rookie and see who can really eclipse that, or not eclipse, but I guess obtain that defensive rookie of the year award as a consensus first pick. So as for this one, I do have to give it to Devin Lloyd, the late first round pick. Now, the last big main award that I can do is Coach of the Year. Now, Coach of the Year, my runner-up is Brian Daboll. I think he's really done a good job with this Giants team, and especially Daniel Jones. Even though Daniel Jones is only attempting 20 passes a game, just overall this Giants team has gotten way better, and they really haven't changed all that much. And we'll have to see how the loss of Kadarius Toney is for them. But since he was injured, he didn't really play, so it's not much of a loss. But overall, Brian Daboll seems like a really great coach for this Giants team, and has definitely led them to some great things. But obviously, I'm going to have to go with the team that has the best record in the league right now at 8-0. I'm going to have to give Coach of the Year to Nick Sirianni. I think, as long as the Eagles stay undefeated, Nick Sirianni will be the favorite to win Coach of the Year. Even if the Eagles do lose a game, I still feel like they'll be in the run for the NFC number 1 seed. And overall, it just seemed like the best pick. Nick Sirianni, last year, he started as the coach for the Eagles, and he definitely led the Eagles to a really good run. They went into the playoffs. However, they did lose pretty badly to the Bucs, but they kept it pretty close pretty early on. But they still were able to make it to the playoffs. Now this season, the Jalen Hurts has only gotten better. I feel like the play with the defense, especially the people that they've added, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, they traded for in the offseason with the Saints. Same with James Bradbury. They signed him in the offseason free agency. Darius Slay's been there for a little bit, and he's doing his thing with the Eagles. The defensive line and the secondary's only gotten better. The offensive line is just a brick wall. Miles Sanders is going off. Jalen Hurts, again, is just going off. So he's playing at an almost MVP level, in my opinion. So I feel like Nick Sirianni has really built a team to win, and win for a long time, and not in the Dolphin sense or Bills sense as win, or not Rams. I guess Rams, I should say, not Dolphins or Bills, but in the Rams sense of win now. They're getting players that can really play a long time in this league, and they're really building a dynasty here. So overall, I'm going to have to give Coach of the Year to Nick Sirianni. And those are all my picks for the NBA awards. Leave a comment down below if you have any other choices for the awards, or if you agree with them. Also, while you're down there, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. That'd be greatly appreciated. And also share the video to anybody that you know would possibly like this video. And then if you are listening on the podcast version, make sure you follow the podcast and also leave a 5-star review. That'd be greatly appreciated on the podcast version. But again, that was all, and thank you for listening or watching all the way through, and have a great rest of your day.